Hey, welcome back to our Bible study through John. We are at chapter 10. All right, and here we have Jesus giving a personal illustration, a picture of what he's like and why these people are not understanding him. So he had just healed the blind man, and people are like trying to say that he's not from God and he's blasphemous and stuff because he's saying, I am God. I am. That's what he's saying. So he gives them this illustration of a good shepherd and sheep, and how sheep know their shepherd. They know the shepherd's voice, and the shepherd takes care of the sheep. And there's really only one way in a sheepfold. There's only one gate, and it's not even really a gate, but it's where the shepherd is the gate. And so that's the whole chapter, is Jesus showing how he is the good shepherd. And this obviously goes back to Psalms 23 that talks about how the Lord is our shepherd. And something that stands out to me is that he says, I know my sheep and my sheep follow me. All right, so my sheep, the word know is gin osiko. Don't speak Greek, so I might totally be butchering that. But that's the word, and what it means is it's through personal experience. That's the type of know. It's not like, oh, I know all about that or this. I know God is a provider. It's like, no. Like the personal experience. I remember I went on a missions trip one time, and we were going to Nepal, and I did not have the money. Like I was $2,000 short. It wasn't like I was $200 short. I was $2,000 short. And I didn't know what to do. And I was just praying and was like, God, would you come through? I know you want me to go. And the leaders of the trip, this is when I was in college actually, and the leaders are like, what are we going to do about Laura? Should we take her to the airport? And then if the money doesn't come in, just like send her home or what, And so finally they decide that's what they were going to do. And I'm thinking, okay, like God's going to come through sometime here. Maybe it'll be at the airport. Sure enough, packing up on the bus, and they keep coming up. Laura, $500 just came in. Laura, minute after minute, within a span of 5 minutes, they were like, you are paid for. You are going. $2,000 just came in. And it was so amazing how God came through. And I have that bonding moment with God, like how I know he's a provider. He says it, I know it, like I know that's true, but I know he provides because I had an experience where I depended on him. Before that happened, someone had given me $100, and I was like, God, is this for me? Like, am I supposed to put this towards? Because I obviously needed it, but I wanted to check, like, God, is this really for me? And he put it on my heart that it was someone else because someone had just shared that they were in need of $100. So I gave it to that person. And then the amount that came in, after the 2,000 came in, I got on the bus and someone handed me an envelope and there was $100 in it. How cool is that? So what I needed with $100 extra, all right? So I got to see God come through because I trusted him and relied on him, and he came through. And now I have a really cool story of how he came through, all right? So that is the type of know he's talking about, not just like an intellectual, oh, I know about Jesus. It's like, no. We're like friends. We're buddies. Like I rely on him and he comes through type of know. All right. That is what's going on. And then when you think about in Philippians 3:10, that I might know him in the power of his, in the fellowship of his suffering and the power of his resurrection. That's the same know. So we know God more when we have to walk through hard things, whether it be like trusting him to come through and then he shows off in some cool way, or we're walking through some hard ministry thing or some hard relationship thing or some hard health thing or whatever it is. The hard provides us opportunity to see God come in as the good shepherd and care for us and provide for us and show himself awesome. All right, so that is the type of know that is being talked about here. Also talks about how we know his voice. The sheep know his voice. I have a video that I'll link up down below here. Ways that we can grow in knowing God's voice, because his sheep do know his voice. But it would be good for us to practice hearing his voice and train our ear for the shepherd, right? So I'll link that up. So some principles that stood out to me is Jesus is a good shepherd who knows and lays his life down for his sheep. His life, the word life there, you would think that it would be his like bios life, his physical life, because he did. He laid down his physical life, right? But it's not. It's actually the word suke, which means his mind, will, and emotions. How amazing. He laid down his everything for us. Everything. His will, all right, his emotions. He obviously, as he's sweating blood, before he goes to the cross, he's not living by his emotions. He laid those down for us. All right, another one is no one can do anything to one of his sheep without going through him. All right. Yeah, that's so cool. I like to picture it as though Jesus has his grip on us and the Father has his grip over all of us. So nobody can touch his sheep without going through the Father, without going through Jesus. All right, we are secure in his hand. The enemy can do nothing in our lives apart from God okaying it. If God okays it, then obviously he's going to use it for his good pleasure, for his glory, and for our good. And Romans 8:28 talks about that. God lets us experientially know him by giving us opportunities to walk through hard things. Opportunities or walking through hard things are just opportunities to get to know God more. They are a gift. And so my personal application is to trust that my life and my kids' lives, who I can tend to worry about, are secure in God's hands. They are secure. So what about you? What stood out in this chapter? Let me know in the comments.